It is time for the second half of our Futures Game doubleheader. These are freshmen and sophomores from a season ago, all from the state of Indiana. Their chance to shine on a statewide stage. Thanks for joining us on the ISC Sports Network. Our game from Hamilton Southeastern, presented in part by the Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. By Forum Credit Union, helping people live their financial dreams for over 80 years. Innovative practice services. Visit them online, forumcu.com. By the Indy 11 World's Game, Indiana's team. Get your tickets now at indy11.com/tickets. And by Lee Company, Indiana's largest school equipment supplier. Alongside Pete Smith, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. And many of the same things we said about the game before us. These are the best underclassmen in the state of Indiana. Again, many of these players will be juniors next year. A handful will be sophomores, but all of them have made an impact at the varsity level so far.
They have. That's why they're getting recognized to be able to play in this game. As you and I talked earlier, it's kind of like, are these kids going to be the ones that are going to consider as Indiana All-Stars? They're on a watch list, yeah. They had great underclassmen years as freshmen and sophomores. That doesn't guarantee them anything. And if you're watching as a youngster at home or a parent of a youngster at home that's a high school player, that's a freshman or sophomore that, hey, my son had a pretty good year, keep getting better, because I guarantee you, things can change overnight. But these are the ones right now that the IBCA has selected as the ones that should be playing in this new concept, which is this is only the third year of this concept.
One of the things that you notice about this group is there are a lot of teammates that are playing in this game. Let's start with the young men that were both freshmen on the state championship team. The backcourt of Cooper Zachary and Jason Gardner Jr., some of the former Indiana Mr. Basketball. What are your thoughts about what those two can be doing for Garrett Weiniger going forward?
Well, when you got that kind of quality backcourt coming back, you can throw just about anybody in there, and they'll get the other team open shots, and they'll get the ball to the post. They're two tremendously unbelievable rising sophomore guards, and I'm glad they made this game. I mean, I love Cooper. Does not pass the eye test. You would think he was probably, on the science team or the math team if you see him walking down the hallway, until you see a ball get in his hand. And when the ball gets in his hand, he becomes a basketball player. They
are both playing on the North team, as are the players from Lawrence North, that being Brennan Miller and Kai McGrew. And obviously, we see a lot of LN games with the Mick on ISC. Those two guys, the power forward and center duo as sophomores for LN. And again, LN's going to be a team that they lost in the morning game of the semi-state. They can compete for a state championship in 4A this year.
I think it's really going to be a wide-open tournament. We saw players Lawrence Central in the first game. We talked about just what they have coming back on an already state championship team. I think the boys are going to be a real good hodgepodge.
And how about the talent in Hancock County right now? Yesterday, we focused on Greenfield Central and New Pal because both Braylon Mullins and Julius Gizzi will be seniors. Well, Mount Vernon played a bunch of freshmen and sophomores this year, and two of them are playing in this game for the South. The huddle you're looking at here, Julian Smith and Luke Ertl. Coach Bradburn's team in Mount Vernon's going to be really good the next couple of seasons.
Sure is, yeah. And the late start Ertl got to the season last year. He never really, but they've got a wonderful core coming back, and I'm real happy for Joe Bradburn. The guy works his rear end off.
Let's go ahead and take a quick timeout. We'll come back with the starting lineups and opening tip-off of this game. Again, it's the North squad in white, the South squad in blue. But our Futures Game coverage continues next on the ISC Sports Network.
It's Dino Night with Indy 11.
Don't miss any of the action. Support the boys in blue. There's fun for groups or the whole family. Tickets available at indy11.com. Indy 11, World's Game, Indiana's team.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Our good buddy Anthony Leach, always repping SVI Sportswear, and of course Prep Ball Stars. He had the Midwest Challenge, another successful event at Tech High School in May. Good to see Anthony here at HSC this evening. Now let's recognize the South All-Stars. Again, all players here and present as far as those that are starting in this game tonight. Eli Seago from Triton Central. The teammates Julian Smith and Luke Ertl from Mount Vernon. James Kalala from Southport, who we saw a season ago in the 4M Tip-Off Classic. And E.J. Hazlett from Franklin Central. This group is all juniors to be. And, of course, Hazlett led his team to the Marion County Championship game at Franklin Central back in early January.
Yeah, and they're going to have you'll see a size advantage they have overall probably in the game. They've got some really good length defensively that the North squad's going to have to combat, but the North squad's got some guards now, I'm telling you.
And again, this is a group that virtually is entirely Central Indiana kids. One player that we will not see play tonight, unfortunately for the South, is Blake Neal out of Bloomfield. He will not be appearing in tonight's game for the South. Now on the flip side, let's meet the players from the North. And again, they will introduce non-starters and starters alike. The starting five for the North: Cooper Zachary of Fishers, Ethan Roseman of Bishop Chittard, Terrence Hayes Jr. of Gary 21st Century, Campbell of Wapahani, and again, Kai McGrew of Lawrence North. Only player selected that could not play tonight for the North is Stephen Reynolds III of South Bend, Washington. All other players available for the North this evening. Starters again on your screen. Coaches for the North: Trent Whitaker of New Pal, Travis Hannup from John Glenn. For the South, our coaches: Brent Dalrymple of North Davies and Paul Ferguson of Columbus North. And you spent a good chunk of the time between games kind of conversing with Paul. Tell us about Paul's story. And
Paul was a basketball manager at the University of Notre Dame when I was the head basketball coach at Penn. He worked camp for us at the 5-star camp. He was the head basketball coach after that in Illinois, his home state, where he grew up in Wheaton. Called me one day and said, I want to be a basketball coach in Indiana. Is that Columbus North job any good? I said, I think it would be a great job, and was his reference, and the rest is history. He hasn't left Columbus North. He loves it there. He's had a nice program. He hadn't quite got to the mountaintop yet, but he's not going to stop trying, that's for sure.
By the way, our three officials for this contest: Harrison Beckman, Josh Cook, and Ken Ludlow. We'll have all the action in between the lines for us this evening.
On the other side, real quick, Travis Haney, you mentioned, the assistant coach of the North. Know him very well. He played at Bethel College, where I did, and he is taking a little time off. He resigned at the end of the season. He pulled the upset hurt around Northern Indiana when they upset Tippecanoe Valley in a low-scoring game. Travis won a state championship at Oregon Davis when he was the head coach. He's done a great job resurrecting the John Glenn program, and I think we'll see him somewhere in the sideline. He just said, I think I've done about as much as I can at John Glenn, and that's what you'd say sometimes. So I'm glad to see him be able to coach this game along with Coach Whitaker, who's got a pretty good player coming back himself.
Yes, he does, and Trent has become now the all-time winningest head coach already on the boys' side at Newport. Let's get to our keys to the game, Coach. What are you focusing on, Pete?
Well, in an all-star game, you got to stop the ball defensively. I've been lucky enough to coach in 2 McDonald's All-American games, other All-American games. I said, guys, keep it simple. If you're on defense, if the guy coming down the ball is not being guarded, leave your man and stop the basketball. He's the first person that can score. In the open court, pass the ball ahead. Don't dribble so much. I mean, if you got a teammate on the wing going ahead, pass the ball. I mean, don't needle it. I mean, and in an all-star game, support your team 100%. I mean, after this game, if you don't want to play those guys again, you don't have to. But in this game, you're trying to win, so you can always say, I played in that Future Stars game for the North squad, and we won. No one's going to ask how many points you scored if you just say, we won.
So Eli Seago, E.J. Hazlett, James Kalala, Luke Ertl, and Julian Smith, the 5 on the floor for the South. Again, those are all Indy and metro area kids. Zachary, Bell, Hayes, Roseman, McGrew, the starting 5 for the North. And we have to have some bracelet removals. Players being asked to tuck in jerseys.
Yeah, that's they kind of get away from that when they start playing in the summer on their club teams and so forth. But it is a federation rule, and we're playing in a high school gym, and let's do it the right way and the respectful way, just like they do in college and the NBA.
Although we are playing some college rules, so 2 20-minute halves, and again the fouls, 7 fouls will get you to a 1+1 penalty. McGrew jumps for the North, Kalala for the South. And the ball pulled down by Camden Bell of Wapani. Of course, his high school coach and Coach Luce coached the Indiana Juniors to an impressive 27-point win a day ago. 3, wing, no. And Ertl will collect the loose ball. Ertl, quarterback on the football team, point guard of the basketball team at Mount Vernon. Didn't start playing until really February because of that foot injury this fall. His high school teammate in Smith left that one short. Kalala could not track it down, out of bounds to the north.
He had to be just biting at the bit last year when Luke couldn't play because he is a basketball junkie. Obviously, it's in his bloodline with his brother. Getting to watch his brother have such a great career, and he couldn't wait to get back on the floor. A lot of guys would just sit the whole season out.
Brother, a former Indiana All-Star before he played at Louisiana Monroe and UAB. Here's Zachary. Zachary, the step back 3, and splashed it home. Cooper Zachary in just 7.5 points a game, but that was just the MO of that Fishers team that shared the wealth. It was seemingly a different guy every night that could beat you. We saw John Anthony Hall yesterday. We'll see Keenan Garner on the senior All-Stars.
Oh,
Kalala got stuck in midair and knew he had one way out, shoot the ball.
get the ball to the rim when you got somebody going like Luke Ertl with the offensive board there.
And Ertl, 12 points a game in limited minutes. But Luke started. We said the same thing about Mark Zachary at Ben Davis. Ertl started as a freshman in both football and basketball at Mount Vernon. That catches your attention.
Yes, it does.
And was the starting quarterback as a freshman at Mount Vernon. Ball out of bounds to the north. And a little miscommunication. The bucket is good. Ethan Roseman. Roseman, Chittard High School.
Plays for his father, Kenny Roseman, who I coached against numerous years.
There's Julian Smith. Smith 14 points a game for Mount Vernon. We saw the Marauders many times this past year on ISC. Got to see them in the Phil Cox Classic in Kokomo, where our cameras will be on Wednesday night. Ball knocked out of bounds. Eli Seago had the ball in his hands. Triton Central High School.
Tigers. Now, I will tell you this. I found in the difference between girls all-star games and boys all-star games at the high school level sometimes, the girls move a lot better without the ball for some reason. Sometimes when you're the star of your team, like you'll see today, they don't really move to the ball as much because they're used to having the ball in their hands more. I think the girls have more continuity flow, I should say.
But Smith sticks the triple.
Off to a good start.
At 5 in the first 7. The two Marauder players have combined for all 7 points for the South. Jalen Mitchell will check in next stoppage and play. Jalen will just be a sophomore. He drew a lot of attention playing for Wrights last year. We saw Jalen and his team as both Wrights and Harrison came up and played in North Central's holiday tournament that we get to televise on ISC. And Jalen has a lot of attention already. And you can see why, because he's 6'8" and about to be a sophomore.
Average 15.6 the game we did. I'm not sure he scored that game. So that's pretty good. He must have some other bigger games.
Here's McGrew. Spot up 3, and if he's making that, look out. And there were so many shooters around him. He didn't take that shot very much at Lawrence North, playing for Coach Giffen.
Well, and that was his first year at Lawrence North, so I think he's learning how to play basketball at a higher level now being in Indiana from Colorado where he transferred from.
Hazlett the miss. Ball tipped by Mitchell. It'll be North basketball. Here's Roseman, 22 points a game. He's the highest scoring player on a per game basis of the players you'll see playing tonight. 3. Yes. Terrence Hayes Jr., the latest in a long line of great players from 21st Century Academy in Gary. A relatively young member school in the IHSAA. Zachary tracks it down. Ertl can't get to him in time. McGrew snares the rebound. Again, between McGrew and Miller, the glass was always cleaned at Lawrence North. Unfortunately, that clean glass, McGrew put a dent in it with that shot. And now we'll see Kalala check back in for the South. as Eli Seago will take a seat. Full court pickup here by the North.
Not a bad idea in an all-star game. Adds a little bit more excitement.
Hazlett
pick
the
and
slip
roll.
to Kalala. James Kalala played for Bill Zick last year at Southport. 11 points per game for James. We see Southport every year in the Forum Tip-Off Classic. They played Greenfield Central in that game last year. Hayes again, the deep three, no. And Ertl will snag the rebound. Going up top for Hazlett. Hazlett stripped, that's Zachary.
I remember watching Hazlett play one night when I was not doing a game. You were broadcasting that Franklin Central Marion County tournament.
They beat Warren in the semifinals, then lost to LN in the championship game. That was their first trip to the finals in a while.
Yeah. Mark James days.
And of course, they are used to playing in this gym because of now being a member of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Seago will check back in. Fresh 5 here for the North. So for the North, it's Elijah King from South Bend St. Joe, this year's 3A runners-up. Dikembe Shaw from Crown Point. Justin Curry from Noblesville. Reginald Hinton from Gary Westside. And Brennan Miller of Lawrence North. Miller, a 2-year varsity contributor, and got the block right there. Miller is a young man that figures out, okay, what does my team need me to do? I'll go do that. 3 by Hinton is good. That is the 4th made 3 by 4 different players for the North. Ertl on the hesitation. Ball was tipped. Yep, Curry got his hands on it. Curry, part of an outstanding team at Noblesville. I saw Scott McClellan, his high school coach, is here watching him tonight. As we said in the girls' game, Noblesville exceedingly well represented on the all-star squads. Drive, blocked. That was wiped away by Shaw. Leave it for
King.
3, and that does not go. Kalala with the rebound. Julian Smith will check in, next stoppage in play. Mitchell will fire a 3, and again, there's a lot of things that come easily with that young man.
I listened to Brent Dalrymple say, move it. And he shot it.
Moved it right to the rim.
Moved it right to the rim.
Moved it right to the scoring column. Ertl will pull for 3. That does not go. And the experience that Luke has gotten this spring is invaluable. I'm not sure if he's made a decision yet about if football's going to continue for him. I'm not sure if Luke is this level of an athlete, but I think back to Colson Montgomery. He's on the precipice of making the majors with the White Sox. You know, he played 3 sports for a while in high school and finally said, I got to get this down to 2. And he was the starting quarterback on the football team, and that's what he gave up. Not before they were a part of a state championship at Southridge when he did that. A potential Indiana All-Star in hoops and first-round draft pick of the White Sox that summer. Smith will fire and score. His second made 3, he's got 8. So the South seesaws in front of it again. South in blue, North in white. Hinton spins. One of 2 Gary players in this game tonight, and there is a 3. He goes for Elijah King.
Played in the state championship last year against Scottsburg. He and Blake Knesny coming back. Got a good nucleus for the Indians.
Mitchell. Now that's years of habits. The Huskies of South Bend St. Joe. 17-17.
Gosh, that's right.
We'll see Knesny Wednesday night for the Junior All-Stars. His older brother plays at Notre Dame for Micah Shrewsbury. Five-out offense here for the North.
Some guys playing some defense.
Ball missed, and Ertl will track down the loose ball.
Good reward by the South team. They played great defense that possession.
Smith wants a screen, trying to get it to Kalala that way. He'll take it. Good take, just didn't finish. Now a numbers advantage here for the North. Curry will pull and stroke it.
Curry will make. That's his MO. He's got a great stroke.
Make that 6 players that have made a 3 now. Here comes the line change for the South. And both teams have 11 players tonight. Ertl, no. Curry, give it to him. Blocking foul, and Curry with a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play.
And one of the rules I said are keys to the game, I should say, stop the ball in an all-star game. Just make him make a pass. You never know what's going to happen. You let an all-star go to the rim like this, it gets a little out of hand. It's not as enjoyable to watch, unless it's your son going to the basket and scoring.
So Curry will shoot 2. Bucket did not count for Curry.
Or did not count it. Okay,
Correct.
Thank you.
So here comes the 5 new players in. Well, Justin Curry at the line. So Justin Curry at the line. He changed his mind and said yes. Count the basket, okay. So Curry does get the and 1. We're talking about our friends at Ed Martin. They're presenting Justin Curry's appearance in tonight's game. Not to mention both young men from Fishers and Cooper Zachary and Jason Gardner Jr. Next time you need a car, make sure Ed Martin's the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com.
Kason Dager with the air ball there, just got in the game from Silver Creek. We don't see him shoot too many air balls, though. Really good player for the Dragons, Coach Hoffman.
So Dager. Dejan Hall. J.J. Craig in there as well. This is J.J. Hearing, and he's just a sophomore 2B.
Yeah, 2B, yeah. Evan Harold right there with the ball, number 9 for Indiana on the South.
Shot missed. Miller the rebound.
I thought for a second Caleb Ferguson was going to take a charge there. He was in pretty good position, his dad being the assistant coach of the South squad, Caleb. Watch Caleb here. He got himself in good position, but he reached. He could have took a charge there.
Oh, Miller from the elbow got it to go. By the way, Blake Neal is in there. We were told he wasn't going to play tonight, so it's good to see he's getting some time out there for the South. Curry gets the bucket, and all of a sudden Curry's got 8. It's an 8-point lead for the North at 25-17. Only player we've not seen yet is Trey Shelsky for the South, and he's over on the bench to our right. Dager, that one went much better.
He made me look good. He's not going to shoot too many air balls unless it's an air ball right through the net there. Case, really good shooter, Kason.
First played for a Silver Creek team that has a pair of state championships, and were it not for Kobe, they might have had a third.
Yeah.
Foul.
Yep.
Hall commits the foul. And free throws coming up for Dikembe Shaw. Well, Dikembe Shaw representing Crown Point in his appearance in tonight's game, brought to us by the Lee Company, Indiana's largest school equipment supplier. From bleachers to lockers, chairs to cafe tables, basketball goals to wall pads, Lee Company is your source. Call Sean Doherty for all your school needs in Northwest Indiana at 765-586-9706.
Shaw plays for a longtime good friend of mine, Clint Swan. He's in the crowd up on the, he'll be on the screen sometimes, time to time, as he's opposite where we're perched at. Evan Harrell may have got away with the travel there, but he got a basket.
Harrell's running again because of the fact that we do a lot of Carmel games on ISC, saw a lot of him, and the turnaround that team made from November and December to January and February was rather remarkable. It was the most losses that Ryan Osborne had in a season at Carmel. May have been his best coaching job. Shaw knocks that ball away.
Evan's off to a great AAU season, Evan Harrell. And they list him on the program. On both the programs I'm looking at, 6'6". He's every bit 6'8" now.
Shelsky in there now. Plays for his dad at Park Heritage High School.
They got to do their sectional and regional this year. Good player. Great scorer, can score inside and out.
And the dunk by Dejan Hall. So So Hall gets his first bucket. Down year for Pike, but they were very young for Coach Jeff Teague. 3 in the corner by Zachary is good. So Cooper Zachary gets his second 3. A chance to talk to his dad earlier tonight. All knocked away.
3-on-1.
Deflected.
Make the pass. Gardner says, I'm going to take it.
Recovered and laying it up and in.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. That was Shaw. My bad. That wasn't Shaw.
Well, I might have some numbers that have
It was
moved
Jarvis
around.
Talbert, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
we'll check that.
Yeah.
Ball knocked away.
No, it was Jarvis from South Bend Adams.
Missed it, but there you go.
Yeah.
So Tolbert.
Back-to-back buckets. You're right.
Tolbert gets the 2. Tolbert
good
in
pick and
addition
roll,
to the game when Stephen Reynolds could not make it.
Terrence Hayes, good defense, rotating back and fronting the post there on the pick and roll.
So by the way, 6 is Caleb Ferguson in tonight's game. There's Caleb on the drive. That shot does not go. Got a couple of late changes with some injuries on the rosters. So Caleb Ferguson wears number 6 on the drive. Jason Gardner Jr.
Degree of difficulty 9.3 if you're keeping score. His speed was so fast to get there, and the angle he took on the rim.
Ferguson missed it. No look pass. Roseman missed it. But sticks with it and scores. Ethan Roseman. Again, the north-south line in this game is a little further south than it was in the previous game. 3 is up for Dager. Dager, his second made triple. He averaged 17 points a game for Silver Creek this past year. On the drive, Gardner got it to go. Gardner averaged just 6 points a game this year as a freshman at Fishers, but again, played a key role in a state championship team, and Ferguson got it to go. On the pull-up, basket is good by Roseman. And a timeout going to be taken by the South All-Stars.
Coach Dalrymple not real happy with the transition defense. Let's go! He's yelling at Apicur's guys to get back on defense.
Today's game presented in part by the Milan 54 Museum. Of course, artifacts of both the Milan Muncie Central 54 Championship game and the largest single collection of items from the movie Hoosiers. The museum captures the excitement of 1954 and has it lasting forever in Ripley County. The museum is located on 201 West Carr Street in downtown Milan. It's open Wednesday through Saturday from 10 until 4. For more information, log on to milan54.org.
Take a look inside the huddle. You saw just a brief look at the North squad. Led by Coach Whitaker. We mentioned he and Coach Hanna pairing together. There you take a look at him.
South with the ball.
The challenge with an all-star game, as you're looking at, is trying to get minutes for everybody. It is an all-star game, and yet you also want to win the game. So you kind of, most cases, you try to feel yourself out from the first half of who's playing well, what rotations work well.
This one is up and no good.
2 of 4 from 3 now for Dagger.
Zachary, Roseman, good head fake, let a man fly by and scores it. Roseman now with 8. Lead grows to 14 for the North. And again, it is more even minutes as Harrow will lay it up and in here, as he's got 4.
That was nice for an all-star game that Shelsky got that head nod figured out for him to go back door. Shelsky's great with the ball. He makes great decisions. He's like a point forward because he's at that 2A level, you know, but he's kind of like a point forward. Or 3A level, I'm sorry.
You're right, 2A.
They're a large 2A school.
Dager with 8.
Yeah.
Of course, the recent merger of Rockville and Turkey Run that forms Park Heritage High School. Hall. Shot blocked, but fouled, and Hall will get to shoot 2.
He did several Pikes games last year, off and on.
First team foul. 2 shots.
All with 2 points so far. Dager and Smith's 8 lead the way for the South. For the North, 8 each for Roseman and Curry. Hall will check out if he makes the second free throw. He does, and he will. Yep. So Ferguson will check back in to replace him. Let's thank our ISC Sports Network crew for their efforts tonight. Thanks to Jordan Shue, Vince Morales, Rob Lynch, Chase Icenoggle, David Kahn, and buddy Alec Word DeFord.
Defended well. Flare screen for Zachary. Still going to get it and shoot it.
Does not go, but Gardner and Zachary now together again on the floor. Ferguson, good recovery to track that one down. And Dager, the trailer 3, got it.
3 for 5 from behind the line after that first air ball. Make me look pretty good.
Dager with 11. First player in double figures for either side. Harrell on the block.
I think maybe the radio broadcast for Silver Creek when he hits a 3, and it's a dagger.
By Dager?
By Dager, yeah.
I will pass it along.
I'm kind of always looking for that.
I will pass along to the guys at the Big X Sports Radio in Jeffersonville that we most likely to broadcast
Those
their
guys
games.
know what they're doing, yeah. Corny suggestion, I know.
I like it. 3 does not go, and Dager flying up to track it down. Harrell couldn't go get it. Gardner will lay it up and in. Had a chance to get to it with his dad, of course, these days at the University of Arizona before his state championship game, before head coach at IUPUI. Now what will be IU Indianapolis as of less than a month from now. Full 5 subs coming in here for the North. Camden Bell returns, as does Reginald Hinton. Justin Curry, Kai McGrew, and Dikembe Shaw all back in the game. Hall returns to give J.J. Craig a breather. We're making this point a few minutes ago. Again, in this game, you're trying to get everybody equal minutes as Hinton cashes in. In the Indiana All-Star Series against Kentucky, you want to make sure everybody gets to play at least a couple of minutes. But once you get to the second half, it gets to winning time at that juncture. On the drive, the dish, foul on the pass. 2 shots coming up.
Oh, Hall on the foul. It was a late call, maybe a late whistle, but it was the right call because Hall didn't contest it at all. Knew he'd gotten him.
So Bell will shoot 2. Tonight's game presented in part by the Indy 11. It's the best time of year to see the Indy 11 in action, whether it's the men at Carroll Stadium or the women at Grand Park. Women are in action on Friday night against Racing Louisville's Academy squad. The men return on to battle San Antonio June 15th at Carroll Stadium at the aforementioned IUPUI. Get your tickets now at indy11.com/tickets. And I think Evan Harrell's going to have to leave just because I think there's a cut left to get taken care of. So Jalen Mitchell comes in to replace him. Here's Bell, 13 points a game for the 2A runners-up in Wapahani. His first point. Miller and Shaw, the only players for the North that have yet to score. Ferguson, got it.
Woo!
His second field goal. 8 different players have scored for the South. 8-point lead for the North. New wave coming in here for the South. On the drive, scoop and score by Hinton. Again, he's from West Side, Hayes from 21st Century. Gary West, the 4A champs in 2002 over Pike. That Gary West Side team had numerous Division I talents.
They did.
Show and go by Ferguson. Tipped and recovered. Curry, no. Hall, the run out. Hall, the basket. Hall with 6. Again, the winning score in the boys junior all-star game was 130 yesterday, so I'm not sure we're on that pace, but it's starting to pick up. McGrew looking to go to work. And McGrew called for steps. And with that, Hazlett, Kalala, Seago, Ertl, and Smith return.
Before low the call, if you can't hear through my microphone. One guy didn't do it, one did.
Seago for 3, got it.
Seago got rewarded. He was down where he was supposed to be.
Seago 17 points per game for Triton Central this past year. And Hinton scores again. Hinton averaged 11 points a game for Westside. He's got 9 in this one. Hazelin in a tough spot. Kalala bails him out. Ertl, shot blocked. That was Shaw that got a piece of that, or McGrew.
Yep.
McGrew did his best to save it. Of course, this Lawrence North team that McGrew played on that got knocked off by Jeff in the morning game of the semi-state. They had really 3 post players that were sophomores on that team. Jared Thomas being the other. Hazlett lost the handle, ball out of bounds.
And we did not get to see Xavier Robinson, the senior, coming back as a senior, the star junior. Did not play in the game yesterday, but was selected to play for the Junior All-Stars.
He's slated to play in the game on Wednesday.
Right.
We'll see if he can give it a go then. Kalala stumbled. Ball out of bounds, touched last by Ertl.
Token full court pressure put on by the South, and it worked.
Leads to a turnover.
It worked. Took the spacing out of the North, and layup by Seago.
Good take by Eli. He's got back-to-back buckets, and South now back within 3. And the South won the girls' game by 13, and frankly, it was kind of a force field at 10 most of the game, in which they led.
This South 5 has not clicked. When they've been in the game, I think they're a negative deficit-wise on a lot of things.
Smith, the slip to Kalala. Stripped, got it back. Powers through, misses against McGrew. Kalala, a raw talent. But you see the pieces that are there as that runner is good by Shaw, his first field goal. Dikembe averaged 13 playing for Coach Swan last year.
Nice block by Curry.
Crown Point gave Fishers a heck of a game in the semi-state. McGrew, well, line drive in the box score. Didn't complete the dunk, but got the bucket. Smith fouled and won. Again, folks in Hancock County, I hope you realize how good the basketball talent is in your county. Because this year, I think the story is going to be New Pal and Greenfield Central, because New Pal brings back all of their starters from last year's sectional champs. But again, the other part of that story is that New Pal is heading to a smaller classification this year, as are Cathedral and Attucks. Smith with 10, that leads the South All-Stars. Actually, Daggers 11 leads the South. Smith becomes the second player in double figures.
One-on-one, I thought he was going to try to drive him. Curry will.
I think that's off Curry's foot. Yep,
sure is, right in front of our viewpoint.
The slip, Seago. Good look by Smith. Seago's got 7.
That was one of the better plays they've had on offense here. Cuts the lead to 3 before halftime.
Mitchell with the help. Coach Dalrymple became the third defender on that trap for the
sideline. It was, then it was Dalrymple.
Ertl lost on the way up. Right idea by Hazlett trying to find him. Ertl just lost the handle. Curry off the rim, no, but tip in by McGrew, and
count the basket.
we got a chance for the and one, Will McGrew.
There's the drive. McGrew's going to come slide behind. And then Ertl got enough contact on McGrew on the putback. Kai gets the free throw opportunity. Young man that transferred in right before the season to Lawrence North.
He's got 8.
State of Colorado.
And he completely was what they needed to kind of make that team.
Oh, gosh,
yeah.
yes.
Absolutely. Closing seconds here of the half. I'm not sure if the South will try to hold for a last look. Job by Smith to run to the minefield and then drew the foul against McGrew.
Kind of bailed him out. I'm not sure where Julian Smith was going, but he got there. Wherever he was going, he got there if you're awarded 2 free throws. A lot of dribbling. Yeah, McGrew left his feet. You know, there's a rule of verticality nowadays, but when you leave your feet, you're that big. Not too much verticality can happen.
Smith connects. He and Dager have 11. No player for the North has more than Reginald Hinton's 9 at this juncture. Kalala in, Mitchell will have a seat. And connects again. 59-55. Curry. Kalala on the board. Outlet pass deflected by McGrew. Taken by McGrew.
No.
Forces the shot. Had to because of the horn.
Yeah, when he said no, I thought, oh my gosh, that's going in.
McGrew could not get that to go. So 59-55 is the score at the break. North has maintained the lead for most of the half. Stay tuned. Halftime show comes your way next. You're watching the Indiana Futures All-Star Games from Hamilton Southeastern High School right here on the ISC Sports Network.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
At Forum Credit Union, we help members plan for life's major milestones. Our team of wealth advisors work with members at every stage, from changing jobs and 401ks to creating wealth plans for future generations. Learn more at forumcu.com.
It's Dino Night with Indy 11.
Don't miss any of the action. Support the boys in blue. There's fun for groups or the whole family. Tickets available at Indy11.com. Indy 11, world's game, Indiana's team.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
At Forum Credit Union, our small business professionals work with local companies to help them prosper. We know that running a small business is more than a full-time job, and our services give you the guidance and support your business needs. Visit forumcu.com to see how.
Welcome back courtside at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Greg Rakestraw, Pete Smith with you here on the ISC Sports Network. 59-55, the North leads the South in this, again, Futures game, a new concept. The second year we have played this game, showcasing the best freshmen and sophomores in the state of Indiana. Pete, what have we learned so far in this one?
Guys can shoot it when they're wide open. A lot of dribbling by both teams. They're not used to playing with each other. As much as we know they've played some AAU together, this group hasn't been as fluid. Not a lot of good passing and stuff, but some great individual moves and some pretty good scoring by both teams.
Scoring in the first half, Julian Smith 12, Kaysen Dager 11 to lead the way for the South. For the North, again, no player has more than Reginald Hinton's 9. 8 for Ethan Roseman, Kai McGrew and Justin Curry II. If you're just joining us, this is game number 2 and game number 1. The South Girls All-Stars beat the North 97-84. Lola Lampley was our player of the game in that one. What all stood out to you from game number 1 of the evening?
It was a very pretty game, but the size advantage the South had took its toll on the North. South had a big group, and they played well. They got the ball inside, and Jayla Lampley was great.
Well, now let's talk about the remainder of the week in terms of our Indiana All-Star coverage. On Wednesday night, Rob Moorhead joins me as it will be from Memorial Gymnasium in Kokomo, the Indiana Juniors and the Indiana Seniors. And again, yesterday, Pete, juniors could not have been more impressive in both girls and boys. Girls beat Kentucky 111-76. Boys beat Kentucky 130-103.
They passed the ball well. Mullins got him off to a great start. Then he just kind of was quiet and let everybody else do what they had to. And Julius Gizzi had an outstanding game. He was our hardest working player of the game. Is that
our
what we
blue-collar player of the game. Had 27 points in that contest as well.
Guys played their roles very well yesterday.
And here's how good the junior class are. Julius is not scheduled to play in the next game.
Right.
Julius was a South All-Star only. Again, there might be a chance he could make an appearance on Wednesday. We'll see Wednesday night coming up at Kokomo. Again, the seniors play at Lexington on Friday. There will be video coverage of that game. We will not be providing that this year. We will be at Gamebridge Fieldhouse on Saturday. Girls at 5, boys at 7:30. Pete, you have gone through this as a head coach, seeing players play in the game. You have been the game director as well. Just kind of given that background, what are your thoughts when you think of All-Star games at Gamebridge?
Well, when you think of the history of who has played in the All-Star game for the state of Indiana, it is an incredible honor to play in it. That being said, Indiana takes a lot of pride in winning because Indiana is on your chest. And I think that's what the All-Star coaches try to instill in the time they have with them as they try to prepare. But Wednesday night's game is going to be a battle because these juniors, the seniors have heard, as you and I were talking before the game, the seniors have heard all about, the senior class isn't as strong as the junior class. Well, they should have a chip on their shoulder.
And again, last year on the girls' side, the junior class dominated the seniors when they played at Cathedral High School. So the juniors can win. It should be a good battle coming up on Wednesday night. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, we'll come back and have a look at our first half highlights. Get you ready for half number 2. North leads South 59-55. And you're watching on ISC.
It's Dino Night with Indy 11.
Don't miss any of the action. Support the boys in blue. There's fun for groups or the whole family. Tickets available at Indy11.com. Indy 11, world's game, Indiana's team.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
At Forum Credit Union, we know strong communities invest in education. That's why the Forum Foundation has given over $800,000 to local educators and students pursuing their collegiate dreams. Learn how Forum gives back at forumcu.com.
It's Dino Night with Indy 11.
Don't miss any of the action. Support the boys in blue. There's fun for groups or the whole family. Tickets available at Indy11.com. Indy 11, world's game, Indiana's team.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Dino Night with Indy 11.
Don't miss any of the action. Support the boys in blue. There's fun for groups or the whole family. Tickets available at Indy11.com. Indy 11, world's game, Indiana's team.
Take a look at highlights of the first half, Pete. E.J. Hazlett with the slip to James Kalala. For Kalala, that would be his only bucket of the half. Again, Julian Smith hits this one. He made 2 threes. His 12 points leads the scoring effort for either side. Jalen Mitchell with a pair of baskets. That one was his second. Here's an and one opportunity for Julian Smith. He would not convert on the free throw. Great slip to Eli Seago. He had 7 points late in the half for the South boys. Now for the North, Ethan Roseman with 8 points. Jason Gardner Jr. would have 6 in limited minutes. The leading scorer is Reginald Hinton. But cashes in on this one. He has got 9. Anything in particular, Pete, you want to see more of from either side in half number 2?
Less dribbling, a little bit more patience, getting better shots. You're saying, my gosh, Pete, they've scored 59 and 55, but hasn't been the prettiest of game at times because a lot of dribbling. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I think the hardest thing in the guys is they're all used to playing with the ball in their hands, so they don't move as well without the ball as I thought the girls did. I thought the girls moved really well. Now, you did see a couple backdoor cuts. Harold had a nice one at one time, but just share the ball a little bit more and don't give up layups. Number 1 rule in All-Star games: guard the basketball if it's coming at you. Even if it's not your man, get the ball stopped.
Take this moment to thank the great staff at Hamilton Southeastern. Thanks to School Superintendent Pat Mapes, tremendous athletic department, Jim Self, Greg Habegger, and Drew Tower about to join that group. Greg is retiring after many years here at Hamilton Southeastern. You won't find 2 better guys in this profession than Jim Self and Drew Tower that will be the co-athletic directors at HSE going forward.
Showing my age, Greg Habegger was the basketball coach at Hamilton Southeastern. Jim was just starting as I was taking over the Noblesville program in 1991 over the Hall of Famer, the great Dave Nicholson. And Greg stayed for a long time, moved into administration. Jim has always been just that great co-AD here at Southeastern.
Jim's daughter is a heck of a soccer player. She was the Defensive Player of the Year in the Horizon League at Northern Kentucky.
Jim's brother-in-law is one of my favorite basketball coaches of all time.
And that would be?
Kent Adams. Twin Lakes High School. Court's named after Kent. Played against each other in high school at Bremen and Rochester days, and one whale of a person. Okay, starting a new group out, the second half, both groups. Roseman actually started the first half.
Gardner looking to go to work. And got it to go. Good. Jason Gardner Jr. with 8.
So to kind of, that was like an example. I think they were patient. They got a good shot. They kind of dribbled a little bit too much, but at least they didn't fire it up there.
Ball was tipped and touched last by Craig.
Spacing bad. Spacing bad.
So Dager, Harrell, Mitchell, Hall, Craig, the 5 on the floor for the South All-Stars. Pull up from 16 is good.
Elijah
for
King.
Elijah King.
He looked so raw athletically in that state championship game. Just didn't get a lot of good scoring opportunities. Probably caused a little bit by Scottsburg's defense.
Dager fires that one up there. King, Miller, Roseman, Gardner, Tolbert. Roseman, no.
Yep.
Offensive foul as Harrell went flying.
I got to give Harrell credit on that play. He was guarding the ball on the shot and then jumped back quick enough to get himself in a rebounding position and draw the over the back call, or the shove in the back.
We'll get to see Evan and his Carmel teammates in their home opener against Zionsville before Thanksgiving. We open up our basketball season on November the 26th. Runner does not go. Miller's tip could not control it. Hall's got Harrell to his left, and that's all he needs. Evan Harrell slams it home. Harrell's got 6.
Missed part of the first half with a cut. got it taped up now, yeah, around his wrist.
Yep, hence the wrap on that right forearm. Hall.
Oh!
Knocked away.
Knocked away, I guess.
Mitchell, the trailer 3. And Miller, the uncontested rebound. And King learns if there's anything in a 5-foot radius, Miller's going to get it from a rebound standpoint. Average double-double for a good chunk of the season for LN. Hall was looking for that dunk again. Roseman takes it away and can't make one from 16. Hall won't get the dunk, but he'll get the and one. John Hall. Hall with 8.
Here you take a look at the nice pass. Good job by Jalen Mitchell to give it up. One of the best things you can do in an all-star game is give the ball up to the guy ahead of you. Executed that very well.
Shelsky will check in if made free throw he does. Shelsky has yet to score. Park Heritage made the 2A semi-state final against Brownstown Central. Brownstown getting by them and Park Tudor and Southport on their way to a state championship. First we'll see young Mr. Benner Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Wednesday and Saturday here on ISC. 2 shots coming up. So Jarvis Tolbert will shoot 2.
Tolbert got to his right hand, and when he did that, he just got that ball out in front of Harrell. Got a chance to get that shot off, and Evan must have clipped him on the shot. I didn't quite see it.
4 points in the first half for Tolbert. Make it 5 now with the free throw.
South Bend Adams High School. Eagles.
Harrell, the uncontested rebound. So the lead is 4 for the North. Hall got the layup. Hall with 10. And brighter days will be ahead for Pike this coming year. They return almost everybody.
Almost everybody. Everybody that played quality minutes, yeah.
They took their lumps this year to the Red Devils, which is rare for that program. Foul as Gardner went to the basket. And Gardner will shoot 2.
Greg, I'm telling you, Jason Gardner Jr. is as fast and quick a player as I've seen in a long time here. He reminds me of Marcus Burton from the quickness point, only he's got about 2 more inches than Marcus, even though Marcus is listed 6 foot at Penn.
Of course, Marcus had a fantastic freshman season at Notre Dame. Dager back in. So Craig will have a seat. So Gardner now in double figures. First player for the North to do that. Shelsky leaves it for Mitchell. Mitchell powers his way up. And Mitchell will shoot 2.
Like to see that strong move by Jalen Mitchell. He has a little bit of a knock yet of still learning to play with contact. And there you can see he drew the contact there and continued up through the motion, so he rewarded with 2 free throw opportunities, and he cashes in on the first.
Jalen had college coaches watching him when we saw him play at North Central's holiday tournament in December. He's just going to be a sophomore. There are a total of 5 sophomores to be playing in this game. And Mitchell going to take off, and Miller's like, no, we're not going to dunk on this one.
No, they're not going to call it, but it looked like it was off his leg on the dunk miss, so.
And after discussion, deemed that it's going to be North ball.
I was right. It did go off his leg. I just thought maybe they felt bad because he got stripped of it, but that was the right call.
Miller for 3. He was not as a frequent a flyer as a three-point shooter as a sophomore as was as a freshman.
Right.
Harrell takes the bump and gets the bucket. Harrell's got 8, and we are tied at 66.
Oh, bad place to be.
North had a double-digit lead in the first half, but it has been wiped away.
Yep.
A turnover committed by Elijah King.
Elijah got no man's land. Picked the ball up right across the 10-second line where you've got that free trapper called the sideline and the 10-second line right behind you.
Shelsky from 15. No, good look that wouldn't go, and Miller grabs another board.
His first shot attempt. Trey.
The dish. Roseman the finish. Good look by Gardner. Roseman's got 10. And Roseman 22 a game. Playing at Chittard High School. Harrell couldn't finish. Miller. Scoop and score. Miller gets his first basket. Now every North player has scored in this game. At the other end, Hall. So Hall with a dozen. He and Smith lead the way for the South. Line change coming up for the North. Gardner. Those impressive get on the rim, and there's Miller, but missed it. I really think that Miller has a bright future at the low to mid-major level at Division I. Shelsky shot blocked.
I agree.
King, Roseman, basket. And a timeout going to be taken. Let's sneak a timeout in ourselves. 72-68. The lead now for the North as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Tonight's game on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by the Indy 11. It's the best time here to see the Indy 11 in action, whether it's the men at Carroll Stadium or the women at Graham Park. The women are in action on Friday night against Racing Louisville's Academy squad, and the men return home to battle San Antonio on June 15th. Get your tickets now at indy11.com/tickets.
Well, it's more competitive from the standpoint of scoring-wise than our first game, the matinee game per se, or the first game with the girls played. Got that to be a run-out.
New team on the floor for the North. Zachary, Bell, McGrew, Hinton, and Hayes.
Face up.
Mitchell fires and scores.
And Mitchell.
That is a very translatable skill that he just displayed right there. Zachary just lost the handle.
That doesn't happen very often. His assist to turnover ratio last year, knowing Coach Garrett Weininger as much as I talked to him during the season, he said, Coach, can you believe this guy's turnover rate to assist rate?
Garrett's here checking out all the action tonight. Team's got to replace Metzger and Garner amongst others. But they return 3 players that will play for the Futures or Junior All-Stars.
He's got Nathan Baker, too, a 6'6 junior that's really coming into his own. It's going to be a nice little replacement for Gardner, I think.
Shelsky not rewarded for a good move. Shelsky's got a couple of good shots that wouldn't go down. Zachary finds the open man and Hayes connects.
But that's the biggest strength of Cooper Zachary. He finds the open guy.
Dager down the lane, McGrew. Got him on the follow through. New 5 coming on here for the South. That'll be the 5 that started the game coming up. Dager will shoot 2. Dager walking the Silver Creek orange shoes. Hazlett, Kalala, Smith, and Ertl return, and Seago will enter if Dager can make the second free throw. And tomorrow night, night off for the All-Stars. We're back on Wednesday in Kokomo.
Full court pressure going to be put on by the South. We have the liberty of having Coach Dalrymple in front of us, so I can hear Brent a lot, the veteran coach from North Davies.
Zachary goes right by 3 guys.
Yep.
One-man press break. And then
Ooh,
Hayes,
hold him down.
Ertl on the foul.
I think Hayes lost his bounce a little bit, but Ertl was there to look guilty enough for the official to say, yep, there's enough contact there for the foul.
We referenced Hayes playing for 21st Century, the most famous alum of that program, John L. Davis.
John L. Davis.
Nelly going to play at Arkansas for John Calipari this year. You're playing for Dusty May in Florida Atlantic. Of course, Dusty now in Michigan.
Ooh.
Perhaps a walk. And no perhaps about it, a definitive 3 by McGrew, his second. He's got 11. And again, if he's hitting that shot on the regular, look out. Smith, 3, yes. Smith with 15.
We expect that out of Jalen. We don't expect that out of Kai as much. Back-to-back threes against each other here. Uh-oh.
Bell's in a tough spot and got bailed out. Smith Orsigo tipped that ball away. Zachary Runner got it.
You know, that his court awareness, he knew he had Seago on him. Size-wise, they're the same about. At least Cooper Zachary thinks so. But, boy, at the other end, Jalen Smith is catching on fire. Back-to-back threes.
So Julian's got 18. 3-point game. And then Ertl goes up and over. Immediately taps his chest, says, my fault.
And Zachary knew he was going to fly over. He couldn't wait to help him up after they called the foul. Yeah. Great sportsmanship out here tonight by both the girls and the boys in this game. Not always the case in all-star games. And we still got 12 and a half minutes to go. You're trying to win the game. You're trying to show what you can do. Sometimes it gets competitive. It's been both tonight, competitive and good so far.
Zachary the 3, got it. Cooper Zachary's third 3. He's got 11. Very balanced scoring on both teams. Ertl. Ertl that advantage being left-handed. Draw 2 free throws, and you're noticing the fouls are picking up here in half number 2.
Fourth foul, number 0, Reginald Hinton, his first.
So Ertl just 2 points so far. And again, don't be fooled by the 12 points he scored per game this year coming back from injury. That number will rocket north next year.
Well. Yes, it will. What a backcourt they're going to have with Smith and Ertl. Ooh.
Five-point game. Hayes lit there waiting, but got some contact there. So Hayes will shoot 2.
Got a great first step to get to that rim there.
Foul number 11, E.J. Hazelman, his first.
So as Terrence Hayes goes to the line, his appearance in this game brought to us by our friends at Lee Company, Indiana's largest school equipment supplier. From bleachers to lockers, chairs to cafe tables, basketball goals to wall pads, Lee Company is your source. Contact Sean Doherty for all your school needs in Northwest Indiana at 765-586-9706. Free throw good by Hayes. He's got 8. Hinton the steal. Fires one to Zachary, and Zachary, no. There's McGrew, then lost the handle. Foul going to be called. Underneath, out of bounds, no shot.
Love the pass Hinton made to Zachary. Zachary's usually the one making those kind of passes.
We're going to have some bonus free throws in this second half. Pace of this is slowed down a bit here in half number 2. McGrew, tough turnaround and made it.
Whew.
Grew with 13. Back to a 9-point lead for the North after the South had tied it up. Smith, not that time. Hayes the rebound. Zachary to his right, and he acknowledges that. And Zachary can't finish. Fight for the loose ball. Ertl comes out of there with it. Finds his high school teammate in Smith and lays it up and in, and Smith now has 20. Bell ripped away by Ferguson. Ferguson. Hazlett lays it up and in. Hazlett, that's his first basket. And a timeout taken by the South. 5-point game, 87-82. We'll step away for a moment as you're watching the Futures All-Star Game from HSC on ISC.
At Forum Credit Union, we provide smart ways to borrow money for life's planned and unplanned expenses. We also have fun, easy ways to save money. See how Forum can help you with your financial goals at forumcu.com.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to Hamilton Southeastern High School. Greg Rakestraw, Pete Smith with you on ISC. Sure to join us on Wednesday night from Memorial Gymnasium in Kokomo. Indiana Juniors versus Indiana Seniors. Fresh 5 in the game here for the North All-Stars. Run and jump trap here by the South. Miller pulls from 14 and got the friendly roll. Miller's got 4.
High post screen. Nice pass.
Ferguson. Ertl got it.
Great choice by Ferguson. Even though he got the defensive player off his feet, there was more timber he had to deal with and kicked it out for the easy shot by Ertl.
Ertl's first 3, he's got 6. Back to a 4-point game, and Shaw. Ferguson just keeps scrapping. And it will eventually be out of bounds to the South. And the bench almost claimed one Josh Cook. Ertl. No, good look that wouldn't go. That'll stay here. And our week of activity culminates in the Saturday night finale of the World Series of High School Basketball. Kentucky at Indiana, girls game at 5, boys game to follow. Love to see it, Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Shot by Seago does not go. Shaw the rebound. Miller throws it up top.
King.
Basket is good for Elijah King. And South Bend St. Joe, the runner-up to Scottsburg this year in the 3A championship. Hazlett blocked by Shaw. James Kalala will come back in. Hazlett will have a seat. Hazlett 16 points a game for the Flashes.
Pace has slowed down a little bit. I don't know if they're getting tired or just the time of the game, but not getting as many transition shots.
Kalala will shoot 2.
That makes it a little tough because, again, these guys just got together to play this game, so it's not like they've had any practices, any kind of continuity of offense, and they're just trying to create their own things a lot of time, play off each other's moves, spot up in the right spot, go back door for back doors there. That's not easy for guys that usually have the basketball in their hand a high percentage of time for their teams back home. And these are, this season the team that was selected as the best underclassmen in the state on potential and on their season they had both. So Again, I said this earlier in the first half. If you're a young player watching this that's in the grades of these two, and you're a good player, don't think that this is a shoo-in for them to continue getting this stuff, because some guys don't get better, don't improve, and some guys really make strides here.
Kalala's got 4. Lead is 4. Rejected by Smith. Somehow Ertl tracks that down. Ferguson's 3.
Maybe
Maybe
a
an
chip.
altered, but Kalala shot blocked by Miller. Puts it back up and scores it.
That's the most promising thing I've seen him do. His second bucket of the game I've got, but nice job. He used the rim to protect his shot. Look how fast
Gardner
he is.
flying down the floor.
Ah.
Good bucket. No foul. That was going to be basket interference if it didn't go. That was the reason for the whistle.
Yeah.
So it counted regardless. So now Gardner with 12. Gardner 12, Roseman 12, McGrew 13. Fresh 5 about to check in for the South. Ertl on the attack. And Ferguson fouled by Miller. That's going to be 1 plus the bonus. So Ferguson will get a couple. He's got 6 points. Both teams going with new 5s. So Ferguson. Columbus North High School. Hall, Craig, Mitchell, Harrell on the floor. That misses. And then Mitchell commits the foul, so now it's going to be free throws at the other end. Nager will check in and give Ferguson a breather.
South foul number 12, Jalen Mitchell, his first, 17.
And it will be Tolbert shooting the free throws. He's got 5 points.
Jarvis Tolbert.
Hasn't had a lot of touches in the game. I
No.
kind of watch him. I'm a former assistant at South Bend Adams in the early 80s, so still keep my eye on the Eagles. Glad to see they have a young player coming that merited being in this All-Star game.
One of 2 South Bend players in the game. Of course, King from St. Joe the other. And makes 1 of 2. And it'll be North basketball. Harold's Carmel handled McGrew's Lawrence North, their first loss of the season. Back on February the 1st. Hall throws it up top for Harrell. Couldn't get up on the square. Zachary will track it down.
And the pass was just a little short for Evan. A little bit higher, I think he had an opportunity. Just a little bit short.
Hinton wants to go at Harrell.
Yep.
They're going to call Hinton for using the off arm.
Harrell sold it well, too. The arm was out. Evan definitely did fall back. Right in the center of Main Street, easy to see. Right in the center of the free throw lane.
Harrell on the isolation. Good job by Tolbert. Slip to Hall. Extra pass, Harrell. 3 in the corner. No. That's a shot he can knock down, but going to get a look that time. His first 3 attempted of the night. He's got 8 points.
First time in the game the 2 Fishers guards are playing together, I believe. They find each other
right here,
yeah.
Yep. And back to Zachary. Not that time. Mitchell, the rebound.
Cooper's missed his last 3s. 3 threes, I was trying to say.
Mitchell the step through and score. He's got 11. Foul against Hinton will be his 3rd.
Foul number 0, Reginald Hinton, his 3rd.
Shelsky will check in here. And you have J.J. Craig a breather.
12, Jalen Mitchell, he'll have 1 shot.
J.J., of course, plays for Chris Byers at Warren Central. Mitchell connects. Got a dozen.
Nice stroke, 3-3 at the line, too.
Smith's 20 leads the South. And it's back to a 2-point game. This has kind of been the MO of this half. North will build a lead. The South will reel them back in.
Nice job by Shelsky not letting him get around him. That's a tough matchup for Trey. Ooh,
Let's
slipped.
hope McGrew's all right. Just slipped. Yeah, he's fine.
4-on-4 because Mitchell waited for him.
Yeah, Mitchell being a great sport helped the other guy before he came down. He's got 14 and we're tied at 94. Hinton off the window. Good move. He's got 11. Very impressed by him tonight. Mitchell for the lead. Yes. Mitchell with 17. And the South up 97-96.
And if you're just joining us, he is only a freshman. Most of these players, sophomores in the game, he's one of the freshmen that was selected to play.
McGrew going to work. And Mitchell going to be called for the body. And so McGrew will go to the line and shoot 2. So as McGrew shoots 2, as Kai plays at Lawrence North High School and the good folks at Ed Martin, great supporters of all things Lawrence Township. So congratulations to both Kai McGrew and Brendan Miller of LN for playing in tonight's game. Folks at Ed Martin want to congratulate you. When it comes to your next car, Ed Martin's the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com.
Greg, I think this is the first time the South's led, isn't it?
I know it was tied briefly.
Right.
Chance for McGrew to tie it here. If he makes this free throw with 6:03 to play. And gets the roll.
Well, not too bad for an all-star game, tied with 6 to go. Now it's up to the coaches to figure which 5 guys have been playing the best and try to win it with about the 4-minute mark as long as it's this close.
Mitchell again for 3, not that time. When you make one, usually 2 or 3 tend to follow.
Heat check, they call it, right? Heat check.
There's Curry. Curry hasn't gotten much run here in the second half.
No, he's not. He is not. Not sure he's had a shot attempt this second half when he has got a run. So he got one up there.
He has one now. Shelsky the rebound. Harrell. Mitchell, the finish. Mitchell with 19.
A great second half.
Mitchell's making a run for our blue-collar player of the game.
14 of his points in the second half.
3 in the corner for Hinton. No. Harrell had inside position, fends off Curry. Shelsky the head fake. He'll pull from 17 and finally found the range. Trey averaging 15 points a game this past year for the Wolves of Park Heritage.
Really a good player.
And a timeout taken by the North. It's 101-97 South leads. We'll take this quick timeout. You're watching on ISC.
It's Dino Night with Indy 11.
Don't miss any of the action. Support the boys in blue. There's fun for groups or the whole family. Tickets available at Indy11.com. Indy 11, World's Game, Indiana's team.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
So welcome back. Greg Rakestraw, Pete Smith with you here on the ISC Sports Network.
Those 2 young ladies have been here since the girls' game. I walked in the gym with them, at, 5 o'clock in the afternoon when we started to do our prep. Look pretty serious, don't they?
Locked in.
4-point game.
101-97.
South's made the comeback to take the lead after trailing the majority of this game.
McGrew for 3,
Wow.
yes. Clearly he's been working on that.
Well, when he gets in good basketball position with his feet spread, he's got good balance. You know, when he's missed his threes, they've been way off because he's been a little bit off balance.
And frankly, we would see him work on that shot before LN games. We would do
True.
them this year. He didn't take many of those in games, and he would work on that shot before contests. Shot missed by Craig. Craig is yet to score. He is the one player yet to dent the scoring column tonight. Chance for North to go back in front. Bell's 3 does not go. Bell has just 1 free throw this evening. 5 fresh faces await. Shot blocked.
McGrew playing both ends of the court right now.
And then Craig takes it right back. Mitchell, Hall, bucket. Dejan Hall with 14. Gardner will check back in for the North when given the opportunity. Our second boys game in as many days, where both teams clear triple digits. Zachary left alone, couldn't tie it. Harold the rebound. Hall drives, scores. Right on his conference rival in McGrew. 16 for Hall. 3 in the corner for Zachary, got it. Or that's Bell, excuse
That's Bell,
me, Bell.
from Zachary.
Bell gets his first field goal. And back to a 2-point game.
That was a big bucket because all the momentum was being held by the South there. So this is a good matchup for Shelsky, get to the rim.
Shelsky will get 2. Shelsky's first free throws of the game. Double bonus now the rest of the way here for the South. Shelsky hits. Ertl, Smith, Kalala. Hazlett will check in if Shelsky can hit the free throw. He does.
Texas with 4 points all in the second half, but really has not taken a bad shot. He's only taken 2 field goal attempts.
Gardner flying down and puts it up and in. Gardner's got 14. Three bigs on the floor here for the South. And poked away by Miller. Miller races back, step through and score it as he disposes of Hazlett on the way by.
Big play by Brennan.
And tied at 107. Ertl gets downhill off the window.
Good take. That's his most aggressive, best move he's made tonight.
Ertl's got 8. Hinton on the drive, scores it around Kalala. He's got 13.
He uses the glass really well, gets it up there high against the taller players. Oh, better pass. Right idea.
Smith draws a double. Mitchell knocked away, fouled.
Going to get
Mitchell
Miller
will
on
get
it.
2. Yep. So 2 free throws coming up for Mitchell. Hall will check in next after the first free throw. Mitchell from the line, 3 of 3 tonight with 19 points. Kalala will check out as Hall checks back in. In the Indy area, exceedingly well represented in terms of players, which again is not a surprise. And Mitchell
That was a big one.
makes one of two.
Gets them in the lead. You'd rather be in the lead. Just play a good defensive segment if you're the South squad. Again, both of Fisher's guards on the floor that are only going to be sophomores next year.
Miller going to work, stripped by Hall. Hall gets the stop. Mitchell fends off one guard, Hazlett. Hall, basket. Dejan Hall with 18.
Great defensive play, too, by Hall to strip the ball out of Miller.
Hinton a bobble. And another turnover. Ertl finishes. Ertl now in double figures with 10. 5 straight points. Gardner finishes that. And a timeout now called by the North. So Gardner was 16. So 3-point game, 42.8 seconds left to go. And how you handling this strategy now if you're the North down 3 and the ball goes back to your opposition?
Well, yeah, I would trap something out front if you could. You know, they haven't trapped a lot very much. The South has trapped more defensively than the North. Try to get it out of the first guard's hands, rotate. They're going to be in the bonus, so you've got fouls. If you don't have fouls, I mean, you can send them to the line that way. I think they'll come out with full court pressure, try to deny the inbounds pass. They've got the lineup to do that. I haven't seen any subs come in, so you've got Zachary and Gardner in the lineup along with Reginald Hinton, I should say. So 3 really quick guards. In fact, I think Roseman's still in the game unless that, so they got 4 guards in there.
Scoring in this game for the South, 20 each for Smith and Mitchell, 18 for Hall. For the North, 16 for Jason Gardner Jr., 17 for Ty McGrew, 13 for Hinton, and a dozen for Ethan Roseman.
So it's McGrew and 4 guys, 6 foot basically and under. Give Gardner the benefit of the doubt at 6'1". Going to deny the inbounds. Not going to trap until nope, they're not going to trap the 10-second line.
Ball poked away. Gardner forces it.
Oh.
Kept the hand on top of the ball.
Yep. Nice
McGrew
look.
dunks it home.
Zachary with a great pass with his left hand. One dribble and just shot it at him.
1-point game. Now Hall trying to keep Gardner in his back pocket. Smith
Big
finishes.
bucket.
He's got 22. 3-point game, 15 seconds left. Gardner, Zachary for the tie. No. McGrew, 5-4. Roseman forces it off the side of the backboard. .6 on the clock. Ball hit the side of the basket, hence the reason the whistle blew. So 0.6 of a second left to go, and the South will inbound the basketball. Here's a look at the replay with clock embedded, so you can get a look as it ticked down. And Roseman over Hazlett, just a tough angle.
Yeah, Hazlett did a nice job staying vertical with both hands up. Had to get the shot up.
So basically the goal here for the South is simply get the ball the other end of the floor.
Right.
Just throw it the length of the floor. And if the North collects it, so be it.
Yep.
Let them use a desperation heave.
Can't run the baseline. Well, great comeback by the South.
The intensity of this one picked up quickly, didn't it?
Yes, yes. Pretty much the North had a nice 6 to 8 to 9 point lead through a lot of this game.
Ertl cannot run the baseline. Inbounds to Hall, and that's it. So the South comes from behind to win this one by a score of 116-113. Time now for our blue-collar play of the game, presented by Boilermakers Local 374. Become a Union Boilermaker. Be on your way to a great career. Find out more when you log on to local374.org. And our winner of the blue-collar player of the game is Julian Smith. 22 points, lead all scores, and lead the South to victory.
And he scored the game-winning basket. We won't see that in this highlight package, but the biggest basket of the game is the one that puts you up by 3, which the 3 can only tie you, and that's what he got. So he played a great game. Mount Vernon's guards have to be really thrilled, and Coach Bradburn, but the game really picked up the last 3 minutes, Greg, as you mentioned. It was fun, really fun.
Let's thank our following sponsors that made our broadcast possible tonight. The Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. Forum Credit Union, helping people live their financial dreams for over 80 years. Innovative product services. Visit them online, forumcu.com. The Indy 11 World's Game, Indiana's team. Get your tickets today at indy11.com/tickets. And by Lee Company, Indiana's largest school equipment supplier. MVP Jalen Mitchell, 20 points. Again, that's named by the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association. Pete, a pleasure the last 2 days, my friend. Thank you very much.
Hey, have a great Wednesday night. I'll be watching.
Rob Moorhead will join us for that one from Kokomo. 6 o'clock the start time. Indiana juniors versus the Indiana seniors. First girls, then boys. But for our crew at Hamilton Southeastern, that'll do it for this Monday night. South wins them both. Girls win by 13, boys win by 3. Good night from Hamilton County. Thanks for joining us on ISC.